Okay, quick video update again. The video I just did was at 5:30 in the morning. It's now 1:30 in the morning. I'm in a little bit different mood now. I had a lot of anxiety in the morning. 5:30, and that made me, I was also kind of depressed now. That kind of broke, I think, earlier in the afternoon, and now my mind is just kind of mush, and I don't care about much of anything. So that's where I'm at. I think the anxiety just, works my mind so much that it just kind of shuts down from thinking too much and obsessing on the same stuff. And so, I don't know, there's not much there. And this is my life. This is kind of what I go through. I go through lots of depressive moments and lots of anxiety and obsessing, and my mind is just all over the place. But I don't know. There's not much to say about it. Anyways, I had done, the video that I did previously. It was the one that I posted. It was like about 2 minutes and 30 seconds long, I think, and the original was like probably like 22 minutes, and then decided, one, it was too long, and then two, I don't know, I became a bit paranoid about, I guess, posting the entire thing and some of the things I said. And so anyways, I knew nobody was going to sit through a 22-minute video, so I cut it down, and the rest just really didn't matter. I guess the one thing that I'd like to say is, if you haven't seen a Strange Fear video that I did, please watch it. I like it. It's some of my poetry. I think it only has about, I'm not even sure it has 40 views yet. I'd like it to have at least 50. I'd like to end up doing a lot more of those, because I think more of me comes through in my poetry than maybe the things that I say. And I think that's what has helped. I'm the first client my therapist has ever had that has borderline personality, and I think she's learned more about me through my poetry than maybe talking to me. And I think that has helped her to maybe understand my past and how to deal with me. And a lot of it, I think I've said in previous videos, I think is a lot about control. And sometimes the therapist or the person that doesn't have borderline personality disorder, they're the ones that have to give up the control and just let the person with borderline take control of the situation and have it. Whether that's right or wrong or not, I don't know, but I think there's reasons why I think that. Anyways, just to answer a couple questions that somebody posted, and I wish more people would post questions, and but I guess that's kind of what makes me think that I'm not very popular, or maybe that people don't like my channel. But anyways, the one question was, is it a hard time for me maintaining relationships? And is it a hard time for people with borderline personality disorder maintaining relationships? And is that the case for me? Yes. I think the key feature of borderline personality disorder is unstable emotional relationships, and along with that goes the real and imagined abandonment issues. And when those get triggered, a lot of times it goes into panic, and we start going through these range of emotions from, sad and depressed, to angry, having our outburst, to apologetic, and just cycling through lots of emotions. It's incredibly difficult for me to maintain relationships. I don't have anybody in my real life that I consider a friend. And I don't even have anybody online anymore that I consider a friend. And what I've noticed is that really how my behavior manifests in real life is the same way that it manifests online. It's almost identical. And it just, a lot of times with me, it's the perception of abandonment, like somebody's going to leave or they've changed their feelings for me. And then that perception of abandonment ultimately leads to real abandonment. So it's incredibly difficult for me. And I think that's the way it is for a lot of us. I think another thing that a lot of us would have in common is it's difficult for us to deal with transitions in relationships. And what I mean by that is a lot of times we idealize the person that we're with and idealize the relationship together, and our relationships change. The way I feel for somebody, or the way two people feel for somebody, the first week of meeting is going to be a different feeling than, let's say, 6 months down the road. And I think a lot of us have a trouble going from that high of meeting someone to, just taking the normal course of a relationship. It changes, and that excitement dies down. It's go out and buy something. It's exciting for the, first week you have it, and 6 months down the road it's nice, but it's not as exciting. So I guess it's something like that. If you need clarification, just post a question. What makes it so difficult? Basically the fear of abandonment. The changes in the relationships, and with me, I'm very analytical, and I'm constantly analyzing the person. And what makes it really difficult is I'm not only analyzing what they say, but how they say it, their body language. Are the two matching up? So is what they're saying matching their facial expressions? And it's just a constant analytical thing with me, and that can trigger fears of abandonment, and also like a neediness within me. And I'm also realizing doing these videos, and why I try to document these mood changes that I go through, is I can see why I would be difficult to be around, because I don't seem to have a consistency about me. Just like within hours, my mood changed from obsessing and being depressed and feeling defeated to now just not caring. And I think a lot of that just has to do with my mind having been on overload. Because like right now I'm just in a state of I don't care. And I wish I wasn't like that, but that's how I am at the moment. Do I try to keep in contact with another person, or no, I don't. Not anymore. I think one part of my problems is I can go back to my childhood and I can see my borderline traits developing as far back as 7th or 8th grade. And I can, I think a lot of that is just feeling a lack of love. When, in all relationships, surviving were because of me doing all the work and effort. And so, for example, my parents were divorced. Every time I wanted to see my dad, it was never him calling me, asking him, him asking me to go see him. It was always me having to pick up the phone to call him. A lot of the times he wasn't the one to come over and pick me up. It was his wife at the time. I can remember prior to, it would have been in elementary school, I can remember asking my mom why she never told me that she loved me. With all my friends, it was never them calling me. It was always me calling them. I can remember being really depressed, and I would have been in high school at the time, and I had a person that I considered a friend, and he was one of these really popular people. And I can remember meeting him one day at McDonald's, and I can still see it clearly. I mean, I could go there and pick out where we sat, and I can remember the conversation perfectly. But it was just me asking if there was a way, I could become part of that in group or be included and invited in. And it was basically this response of, he more or less had enough friends and didn't need me, and didn't really want to include me in that clique, and that was pretty much the end of it. And then, in my early 20s, I moved out to Tucson, Arizona, and, in the almost 5 years that I was there, I went on, like one date, and that certainly takes a toll on person's self-esteem. But, when I was about 18, I really got fed up with being the one to maintain the relationships, and I just pretty much stopped putting in the effort into it. And I'm just not in a position where I want to be the one that's doing all the work to maintaining relationships. I just don't want to like anyone that much, and kind of put up a wall and a barrier to prevent myself from doing that. Anyways, my advice to younger people that are in their very late teens, early 20s, that have borderline personality disorder or borderline traits, if you can afford it, my strong advice would be to take DBT. It may not cure all the problems, but I think they have a better chance of recovery than what I do, simply because I've become so jaded. And I'm not saying that I've given up, but I'm really hopeless and, just really frustrated with life. I'm just tired. And so I think for people that are in their late teens and early 20s, I think it would be a good and wise move for them if they can afford to take DBT, try to learn new skills. And I don't think they've gotten to the point where they've given up or have become as hopeless. And I think there's a good possibility for them to face a better recovery rather than waiting and putting it off and become more jaded. So that would be my advice to them. That's the video that I'm doing for right now. It's the first video I've probably done that is in one take. I think part of the reason for that is I just don't care. And, just my mind is kind of mush at the moment. So if you manage to make it all the way through, I'd appreciate it if you share the video, like the video, leave comments. I guess it does mean a lot to me. Put me on your featured channel list and follow me on Twitter. I don't know if I'm going to post the Twitter links, but they're on my page somewhere. And hopefully my mind will settle down and I'll get some sense of humor back, and have more interesting videos. But that's where I'm at currently at the moment. Thanks for watching this. Bye.